and welcome back to the Dynasty Rewind, everybody. I'm your host, Michael Bauer. The best in the business is back in business, and everybody is hungry, but they're sitting tight in our group chat here. So before we get into it, I just want to take a minute and talk to you guys about DynastyUnder.com. It is the only way, the only place to play fantasy football as real as NFL football as possible. I can't talk to that. I'm sorry for everybody watching, all three of you. Anyway, DynastyUnder.com/rewind. You head over there. They are auctioning off teams right now that the owners have left. You could also buy in the new teams, and slow drafts will be starting in May. So you have 2 months, 24-hour clock. DynastyUnder.com. Tell them that the group from Dynasty Rewind sent you. But joining me, like always, we got Pork Man. What's going on, Pork?
Not much, man. Just excited about talk about everybody's favorite tight end tonight.
He's next week, but also joining us, we got Kevin Nooney. What's good, Chev?
Yeah, tight ends are always a fun topic to talk about, boys. I can't wait to chop it up with you guys.
Yeah, it's interesting too because everyone's like, "Oh, tight ends suck," but come here,
you need them.
You do, right? You have to put them in your lineup, just like kickers and in certain leagues, defense and special teams. So it's important to know what you're up against. And also joining us, we got Nate Christian. What's up, Nate?
Yeah, I'm just excited. There's actually good tight ends this year to talk about because last year was a snooze fest watching tight end film. Other than Cole Kmet, but Cole Kmet wasn't exciting. He was like the most solid tight end ever. And I liked Harrison Bryant last year, but other than that, it was pretty lame last year.
Old Pork? What was the guy's name?
Hunter Bryant.
He got hurt.
Colby Parkinson.
Colby Parkinson.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Old Pork.
He wasn't that good.
Can I just make a statement about the tight ends real quick? So we have Kyle Pitts, who we're going to talk about in a minute. He's in a tier all of his own. I think we could all agree on that, right?
Yes.
But I feel like the Pat Freiermuth and Brevin Jordan conversation is going to be exactly like Hawkinson and Fant. You know what I mean? One of them is a little bit more NFL ready right now. The other one's he's athletic with that huge upside. But either way, if you get one of the two, you're kind of splitting hairs, and you're going to get a good prospect either way. So just wanted to put that out there. I was going to tweet that out today, but I didn't want to deal with Twitter. So I just said it. So there you go. So let's get into it. Nate, feel free to correct the height and weight measurables if you see fit. Kyle Pitts from the University of Florida. He is a whopping 6'6", 246 pounds, and he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.46, correct? Something like that?
Unofficial, though, right?
Unofficial, but it happened. It unofficially happened. So, I mean, that is blazing speed for a guy that big. So he played 3 years at the University of Florida. He played 24 games, 100 catches, 1,492 yards. He averaged 14.9 yards per reception and 18 touchdowns. Now, full disclosure, when you're listening to or looking at tight end stats, just please keep in mind that tight ends are not used in college like they are in the NFL. So you're going to say, oh, this guy's so great, his stats aren't that good. Brush that aside. There's other things that we look at. So I don't know how much time we need to spend on Kyle Pitts. He looks to be one of the best tight end prospects ever.
Wide receiver prospects. I mean, you name it in this class. I mean, he is that good. He can line up anywhere on the field, and he's going to be a mismatch most of the time. So I'm going to be honest. We probably don't need to spend too much time on Kyle Pitts. I think everybody knows what they're really getting with him, but I'm sure Porkman has something to talk about his hips or something like that, so we can make that happen.
We could also say that he was with one of the best Florida Gators ever in LaMichael Pirine.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, there you go.
No, but I mean, as Chev was talking about his hips, it's like there's most tight ends that's not 6'6", that's almost 250 that can run a choice route the way that he can. So I mean, when he goes in, he dips his hips and goes out. There's the linebacker or the safety is not expecting him to do that at all. So when you have a guy that can do that, a guy that can go into the end zone and high put the ball, you got a guy that can run a slant and get low with the best of them at 6'6". It's almost impossible to defend this guy. He can run the seam. He can run. His route tree is probably the best that I've seen from the tight ends I've ever scouted. So when you have a guy like that, hopefully he goes to a team where they can, use him the right way. Because, there's some team that can just kill talent because they don't know how to use him. They just say he's good. Just go out and do your own thing. How about you just help this guy out, scheme him into some open spots, make him seem like he can, get into a soft zone. Or if you just like, hey, I'm gonna throw you this ball in the red zone, just catch it. We saw the game in Alabama on the right side on the field. It's like 3 guys over there, just snatches it out the air and just kills the whole team. So tight end 1, if somebody has a problem with that, they might need to get their brain checked.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, there's other good prospects, but I don't know who you're putting over him. Really?
Nah.
So I think he's the most consensus prospect we've seen at a position.
Yeah.
I think so.
Watching him reminded me of watching prime Antonio Gates. Legitimately.
Mhm.
I mean, we're not talking as a prospect. We're talking Antonio Gates in his prime for the San Diego Chargers. One thing I will say, one just small knock, he's not overly elusive, but his strength and speed compensate for that. And he's just he's such a natural receiver, too. It's effortless with him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people are trying to compare him to Darren Waller, and I mean, I get it, but I'm not a huge fan of that comp. I get it because, you know, Darren Waller's Darren Waller, and Kyle Pitts is just something else. But actually, it seems a little weird because you know this player for what he is now, but if you remember when he came out of college, how good he was and athletic, I think Kyle Pitts almost comps to like Mike Evans.
Okay.
Mike Evans was running a high 4.4 out of college. Big guy, 6'5", 230 something pounds. So Kyle Pitts has an extra inch and extra 15 pounds on him. But like the way they can body up a cornerback, the way they can win on contested catches, how strong their hands are, and at being so big while still being athletic. I think, you know, it's kind of a weird comp because we look at Mike Evans now as just getting touchdowns and not like actually being a deep threat. But, you know, he is
Droppable
still
in
a deep
redraft.
threat. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So-
stuff like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of like the Mike Evans, Kyle Pitts, like semi comp?
I can get it, and I kind of comped him. I kind of comped him like to his off the line route running as to like Devontae Adams because he's always open on the slot and he does like the little skip hop, so you don't really know if he's going in or he's going out. But I understand the Mike Evans too going deep, so he's kind of like a combination of both of them, which is hella scary.
Yeah, if you're hearing this, like you're getting a tight end with the wide receiver comps to Mike Evans. And in fantasy football, that is what you absolutely need right now because not everybody's going to have a top tight end on their roster. There's 5 or 6 maybe. And then everybody else is like, well, I really hope Chris Herndon pulls out this season. I hope he does great. I hope this guy does great, but we never know. So, I mean, just having that kind of player be on your team for the next 10 to 15 years, that's game changer in fantasy. You don't have to worry about tight end ever again, and then you can go target other positions that will definitely influence what you need to get. But having that tight end has helped me so much and helping me win championships. And every championship team that I see usually has a tight end that is a baller. So I think just getting Kyle Pitts on your team, honestly, like if you're one tight end away, go get that guy. Find a way to get him because that could be your key to success for the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can get him. Again, okay, let me ask you guys this. I hear people saying Kyle Pitts is the 1-1 in Superflex. Okay. Does tight end premium change that for you?
Unless your 101 team has Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray.
Josh Allen.
Throw Herbert in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
The quarterback is just so important in Superflex. Like, you learn the hard way if you do not go hard on quarterbacks in your startup because you will suck so bad unless you have somehow got lucky and got 2 of the best guys, or you had Tannehill that just balled out one season, and then you had just like a Fitzpatrick having a magical year. Like, it does not happen very much where those guys are that big of game changes for you in Superflex. So, like, if you don't have any of the top guys and you don't have 2 really, really good quarterbacks, you're in big trouble. There's a good chance you're not winning your league unless you're Michael Bauer going against Garrett Price. And that's the only time I've ever heard success. And that was a Cinderella story.
Thank you, Christian McCaffrey, for your 38 points or whatever you got me. So I got screenshots. If anybody wants it, I could definitely set that up for you. All right.
Uh-oh.
We always talk about this. What kind of draft positioning are you giving up for Kyle Pitts here? ADP, sorry. Let's just say one quarterback league.
1-0. I mean, if you need a tight end, starting at one quarterback league, if you really need a tight end, go and grab him the 101. I mean, I don't care. But I'm probably thinking I would be comfortable picking him at the 103 at the most.
Okay.
Yeah, at the most, yeah.
My actual value is maybe more like 105, but he's not going to last that far. Someone's going to get excited and pick him.
Yeah, I think 105. You can get him at 105, like right here. Like,
yep.
I would be pretty thrilled, especially if you need a tight end. Like, that is incredible to get that kind of player at that value, I think.
Yeah, and so for those of you that are listening and not watching, Chase Vernon over at Fantasy Football Intervention, he's chiming in saying he just got him at 105 and one quarterback, and I thought that was proper value. So yeah, I think that's on par. And right now that's his ADP, but there's going to be people that no matter where he goes hate his landing spot for whatever reason, because that's what people do. So use that. Put feelers out to your league. Talk to the people in your league. Being active in the offseason doesn't necessarily mean sending out bad trade offers. Just talk to the people in your league. Like, what do you think about this guy? What do you think about that guy? Get feelers out there. That's all you have to do. And Chev, I think you're triggering Linda.
I don't know what I said to trigger her, but I hope it is. I'm guessing Superflex QB is what I said. Something about that, I'm guessing.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. She'll tell us.
Kickers rock, though.
They do. Let's move on, and we will talk about Brevin Jordan from the U, Miami in Florida, not the one in Ohio. He's 6'3", 245 pounds, probably ran a pretty good 40. Anyone know? Did he do his Preda yet? No.
Yes, man. It's all right.
Yeah. He ran something. 3 years, 26 games played, 105 receptions for 1,358 yards. He averaged 12.9 yards per reception and 13 touchdowns. Workman.
Brevin Jordan?
Let's talk about Brevin Jordan.
All right. Oh, boy. Oh, here we go, Nate. So you said his 40 time, what was with a 4.6, right, Nate?
It was not great.
Yeah, not great. All right, so when I was looking at film, he looks really athletic for his position. I'll give him that. But the thing for me is that I don't feel as though right now he's not NFL ready. As a tight end, I think he's going to have to be put more in like the start as an H-back or as a slot tight end. If you put him on a line, he was getting kind of destroyed by those defensive linemen. And there was this 1D tackle in Florida State who just kept embarrassing him, but he was like 8,000 pounds. So I kind of expected that from him. But he does not have tight hips. His route tree is not really defined as well. But when he does have the ball in his hand in space, he does look super explosive. But the thing is, when you get into NFL and you're slightly undersized, they're going to eat him up. So I think he's going to be a prospect when it's going to take some time for him to, develop his game. But I think if he gets into a right, situation, he can do something. But don't look for anything in this year or 2022, in my opinion. I think he's like a 3-4 year project, and then from there we can see what we got.
We did not watch film together, I promise you. But what I will say is I have written down here solid blocker, but will struggle against top talent. So, he can do it, but you line him up against a really good guy, he's going to get knocked on his ass. He's 6'3". You know what I mean? He's not an offensive lineman. He would be better put in a move position, but I do have on here that he moves like a wide receiver. I thought he flowed really well. He had great concentration and game awareness, which I really liked. He's going to eat in the middle of the field. And honestly, you know what he looks like to me? He looks like a guy Philadelphia would have drafted like 3 years ago. So he looks like he fits that mold of what they want tight ends to do. So a situation like that would be good for him. And that's really all I have to say about him. I mean, Kyle Pitts, Brevin Jordan, I don't know how much time we need to spend on these guys. But Nate, You're getting pointed at, so we're going to you.
Yeah, I guess I'm the resident.
He's
Brevin
the
Jordan
resident.
Are you the resident Brevin Jordan stan? Did I say that right?
I guess so. Yes, I'm the truther. Brevin Jordan's my tight end too, and okay. So he ran the 40, was not what I was hoping for. He ran a 4.64, so I mean not bad at all, but for a guy who looks as athletic as he does on the field, a little disappointing. But I think Brevin Jordan, he is undersized. He came in, I think, a 6'2.5". If I had to give him a comp, based on his size and how he plays, because he's runs routes like a wide receiver once he gets the ball in his hands. He runs like a running back. I like the way he plays a lot. I think he brings some explosiveness. But he might get, he's kind of similar to like Gerald Everett. And those guys are exciting, but they don't always hit. And I recognize that. As much as I love Brevin Jordan, he is definitely a riskier play than Pat Freiermuth or, of course, Kyle Pitts. But I'm a big fan of Jordan and what he brings. I think he really fits the modern NFL because you're right, Mike. He's not going to be an inline tight end. No. He's going to be, like I said, that Gerald Everett to a Tyler Higbee. And in the right offense with some volume, he can be a tight end 1 for your fantasy football team. But he's going to have to be used as a move tight end. He's going to have to be used in the slot, in motion and stuff like that. So he is going to be a bit landing spot dependent, much more than Kyle Pitts or Pat Freiermuth. But I think he has a really high ceiling. So he's a guy that's going to be kind of all over the place, I think, for a lot of people, because I think we all kind of see that upside, but it's just how much risk are we willing to put into it? What's the team landing spot going to be? How are they going to run their offense? So I'm really interested to see where he ends up on draft day. I think he's a round 2 selection. He's been productive since his freshman year. So he's got a lot of stuff going for him. It's just going to come down to how he's used in the NFL.
Okay. Chef?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it really is going to depend on kind of where he lands and kind of what offense he gets put into. If he's getting put in an offense where they're scheming him up, I'm super excited to grab him on my team. And tight ends, they don't have to break out the first 2 seasons, man. The third year and those fourth years are where you get your money, unless you're Ian Thomas. You really screwed me over last season. But
you and me both.
Steph did.
But whatever about that. But he's really good with the ball after he catches it. I mean, Nate showed me these clips, and I saw him before, and I did notice, man, he's looked like a bowling ball running that thing, and he looked like a running back trying to get to the end zone, and he runs hard, man. So, I mean, his floor or his ceiling could be very high depending on where he lands. But the good thing about where he's going to go in the rookie drafts, like you're not going to have to spend a really high pick. You get a late second, maybe a mid to second. You can get him, and you can possibly get that upside, especially in a tight end premium. I mean, that could be huge, especially if he goes to a good situation. He could be a nice little pickup for somebody, and same thing for Freiermuth too. I think those guys are going to fall a little bit in our rookie drafts, but like Nate said, man, the ceiling could be very high for him. He's just an athlete, man.
Yep, and like I compared him to Gerald Everett. They're the same size height-wise, but Brevin Jordan has 15 pounds on Gerald Everett. And still runs, this 4.64. The guy, Brevin Jordan, weighs just as much as Kyle Pitts. I want everyone to recognize that. Brevin Jordan,
he needs
almost 4 inches smaller than Kyle Pitts, weighs the same. So when Chef says he looks like a bowling ball out there with the ball in his hands, he's got some power. That's why I say he looks like a running back out there. We look at guys like A.J. Brown, Laviska Shenault, Deebo Samuel, these guys that are a little bit bigger wide receivers, thickness-wise, and they run. And, the thing that we all say about them is we love them after the catch because they look like a running back. Brevin Jordan is like a tight end version of that.
Okay. So we do have a question here, and I think this is actually – we could work this in with tight ends. This is from Chase Vernon again. You could go check him out on Twitter. I'm blanking on his Twitter handle. I'm sorry. Just type in Chase Vernon. He's the guy that looks like Bradley Cooper at FF Intervention. Super handsome, super great guy. Right, he's saying, I'm going to hang out work on an article look forward to reading it, Chase, but he would love to hear our opinions on quarterbacks in a one quarterback league. So for rookie drafts, he did mention that later. So I brought up my home league on the screen. I will not display it on the screen because some of these team names are not suitable for all audiences. I will say that mine is just MJ Bauer 85, so we're good there. 10-team league, one quarterback. Okay, I just traded up for the 1-1, so I'm on the clock at 1-1. My pick is going to be Najee Harris. Okay, that's real easy. If it was super flex, it would be Lawrence or Fields, depending. So I would weigh that after the draft. Pick 2, I know he already said that he wants either Jamar Chase or Devonta Smith. What he's telling me, and he felt he didn't need to take either of those at 1-1, which is why he was willing to make that trade with me. So we'll say Jamar Chase. Okay, we'll just take him off there. And then at the 1-3, I'm going to say we're probably going to go. That's Cody, good friend of mine, listener of the show as well. I'm going to just put Javonte Williams for Cody there. So that brings us to the 1-4. That's Alex, who he could use a quarterback.
Oh, his team sucks.
He said,
Actually, no. So he's got Matt Ryan. I didn't see Joe Burrow at first. Matt Ryan, Joe Burrow, Teddy Bridgewater, Kyle Allen, Andy Dalton. I don't know why he has so many quarterbacks in a one quarterback league, but I'm going to say he's probably pass on a quarterback. So there we go. Still going here. Now we got my buddy Harvey. Oh, God. He's got Herbert, so we're going to pass. So now we are at the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1,
I love this play-by-play of Mike's home league.
Is this the golfing league?
Yeah, we do golf beforehand. So he's got Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson. That's it. So our first quarterback might come off the board at the 1-7 spot, 1-6, whatever I'm at. 6. Yeah. So we're talking 1-6. Probably going to be Trevor Lawrence if I know Kevin pretty well, which I do. I would say he would take him. He's just going to go for the high draft capital. And then the next guy, Andy, is absolutely clueless. He doesn't even know that he won money in the league last year. He didn't know the league rolled over. So he had to be kicked out of the league and re-invited. And then he had to reinstall the Sleeper app. So his draft from anywhere between Justin Fields to Tutu Atwell, and I don't know where he's going to go. I'm serious. The guy he's just out there.
He's a gamer. He puts his lineup in. He says, let's go.
Listen, this is the guy that finishes in what everyone calls Dynasty Fantasy Football Purgatory every year. He picks in the middle of the draft every single year. And he is generally the only guy where if you look at the column on Sleeper, it's his pick straight down. He's the only guy every single year because he doesn't do anything.
That sucks.
Yeah. So I don't know. And then we got Tyler, who's a listener of the show. He's at 1-8. So he's going to take wide receiver early. And I told him that this would be a good point to get a quarterback. I would tell him to take Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he does have he's got some good plays. He's got Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo. He has Tua. For some reason, he has Andrew Luck still rostered. I don't know why. I've told him so many times to drop Andrew Luck. It is not.
It's holding out hope.
So I told him that I would take a quarterback there if it was me. Then next up, we have Cody again, probably a wide receiver there. And then we finish it up with Alex and could be a quarterback there as well because Alex is kind of a wild card. So I'm going to say chase 3 quarterbacks in round 1 of a 1 quarterback league. Hope you guys don't mind me just pulling up my home league here to kind of gauge you and looking at a team here, looking at team needs. So I will say that this league especially is not a league that drafts best player available. This is a league that drafts heavily for team need.
Mm-hmm.
So when I hear who is Aaron Rodgers and who?
Tyler's team is.
I feel like that team does not need a quarterback right now. I mean, if they're the Packers, they'd go quarterback, right? Because they need to find a backup for him. But right in one quarterback leagues, man, and it's only 10-team, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not taking quarterback. Probably it would have to be a great talent. I'll take him in the beginning of the second. But I'm going to wait for quarterback, man, because in one quarterback leagues, they're just not as valuable, I think, as people think. I think they're really great, but there's no way I'm rostering like 7 quarterbacks. If I have one of the best quarterbacks, I have Patrick Mahomes, and then I'm probably going to pick up a guy off the waivers because there's probably that much talent there if he gets hurt. And that's just how I roll. I mean, it just depends on your league. Like we talked to Steve, I think, in our Patreon group chat where quarterbacks fly off the board in one quarterback leagues, like they're prized possessions apparently. So it really just depends on your league, but I'm really not touching a guy probably to the beginning of the second, and probably mid-second is where I'd start if it's not. Like Justin Fields, if he goes to San Francisco, I would love to grab him probably early second, but Trevor Lawrence is just a beast, so he could probably get grabbed up then too, but I'm not a big first-round quarterback guy in 1 QB leagues.
Yeah, and I do have the 2-2 in the second round, so looking at my quarterback situation, it's extremely on brand for me. It is Drew Lock.
I say it'd be Drew Lock.
I have I have Jacob Eason and Mitchell Trubisky. So,
so I think so. Last year I was seeing Burrow go at the beginning of the second round. I saw him go a couple times, like maybe like 111, 112, if like the championship team, really neat, like had Drew Brees, something like that.
Yeah.
And I like that value. I think quarterbacks in a 1 quarterback 12-team league should go end of first at the most, early second. And that's when you have like your 1 top tier quarterback, like last year, Joe Burrow. Now this year, there's a dilemma where Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields are good enough to go at the end of the first round. But why draft one of them at the end of the first round when you can draft Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, or Mac Jones in the 3rd or 4th round of your 1 quarterback league? Kyle Trask on the waiver wire.
Yeah, on the waiver.
So, like, I don't know what's going to happen this year with quarterbacks in 1 quarterback leagues because they're the talent and like the value is actually there. The fact that there's 5 quarterbacks that are probably going to go first round in the NFL draft means like I think that it's going to push all of them down, and we're going to see Lawrence and Fields go in the 2nd, and then we're going to see Wilson and Lance go in the 3rd, and then we're going to see Mac in the 4th, and like why reach quote unquote for a quarterback in the end of the 1st, early 2nd when you can get one in the 3rd or 4th?
Yeah. I'm trying my hardest to get some more draft capital in this draft. In 2021, it's a good class. And there's a lot of pieces I like. I want to get my hands on. And I'll tell you what, a morgue has more activity than this league at times, man. It's just, here's the thing.
Hey, morgues are pretty busy right now.
They are.
But if the trade is no, that's fine. Just tell me no. You know what I mean?
Just let it sit there 10
and
hours.
You just say, hey, I'm fine with. I don't want to trade this guy. I want to keep him. That's fine as well. Is there anybody on my team that you like? I'm looking for some picks. Can we work something out? If you like something, yeah. But if not, no, then that's fine too. Instead, it's just, hey, I've had this trade sitting here since March 2nd. So if we could do anything, would be fantastic. Because I see you in the chat. You know who else is in the chat somewhere? Maybe Kenny Yeboah from Temple and Ole Miss. 6'4", 240 pounds. He played 5 years in college. The first 4 were at Temple. The last one was at Ole Miss. 34 games played, 74 receptions, 1,062 yards. He averaged 14.4 yards per reception and 12 touchdowns. Who would like to start with Kenny Yeboah?
Mike, I think you should talk about your boy Kenny Yeboah. So come on,
Yaboa.
I do like Kenny Yeboah, and okay. I think he's not like a natural runner. He's like a strider. He's got the big long legs. He's going to be a good red zone target. He's a good hands catcher, and he is deceptively athletic, Nate. And I think he is a solid blocker. He's athletic enough.
We need to get our boy Mr. Harris on here to talk about tight ends. I missed that guy. Athletic tight ends. He would love this guy, maybe.
If you look in the mirror and say Dawson Knox 3 times, Will Harris will appear.
I say it every day.
So I do like Kenny Yeboah, and I don't think that he's going to be like the other 2 guys. I think he could be like a late late day 2, early day 3 guy, maybe, but most likely a day 3 guy somewhere. I like him. I do, and I think he translates to the NFL well. That being said, him translating to the NFL well does not necessarily translate to your fantasy team well. So he might be very hit or miss. When I say he's a red zone target, I don't like him a ton in the open field. He doesn't shake off guys all that well, but he is 6'4", and he can block well. So that gives an offense versatility. Like, is he staying in? Is he going out? Whereas if you have a guy like Drew Sample in there, you know what he's going to do, right? Get hurt. So he's not going to be on the play. Who would like to also talk about?
I would like to talk about Kenny Yeboah.
By all means.
Because I had a chance to pick up Kenny Yeboah in my Campus to Canton League this season. And I watched some tape midway through the season. I was like, okay, this guy, he's producing. He has good stats this year. He produced well in the Ole Miss offense. They had a lot of production to go around, but he was good. He was good. He was basically the second target there next to Elijah Moore. So watching film this guy, I'm like, how's he getting these stats? Like, he's deceptively productive, apparently. That's what he's deceptive at. I don't think this guy's athletic. I think he's slow. I think he's got tight hips. He's got some tight hips, right, Porkman?
Yeah.
He's got some tight hips. And man, this guy looks like he's running in like snow
quicksand.
Like yeah. I mean, it's bad sometimes. He's got decent hands. He's got some physicality to him, but I don't know. At tight end position, if you're not athletic, it is hard to be number one, a fantasy producer, but also it's hard to be relevant in the NFL if you're not athletic. So I am pretty out on Yaboa. I haven't scouted all my tight ends yet, but he'll probably be somewhere around like tight end 8.
Okay, tight end 8. He's my tight end 1. He would be your tight end if you had never heard of Kyle Pitts, and this is the only tight end you watch film on. So.
Exactly.
That Fork, you want to finish off on Kenny Yeboah?
Yeah. So I think the best part of Kenny Yeboah, I think he's going to be really good for NFL. This sounds stupid, but I actually enjoy his blocking. His blocking was actually was pretty. He did pretty well for that. He's just not going to be too much of a fantasy relevant type of guy. I only see him probably being on the field in the red zone, just high point the ball because he is kind of big. And come to think of it, I don't remember him jumping too much. I saw him have one contested catch on the left side of the field. I forget which game that was. I think that was Alabama. And he had one old man Michael Bauer juke, and he still got caught.
I got moves, dude. I have a 2-year-old to chase around, so I had to jump over princess castles and blocks and all that stuff. So I got
yeah.
I'm a gazelle.
We need to see your 3-cone, Mike.
It's awful. It's bad.
It's worse than
no, but I mean, he's just going to need some help with his routes and everything. So I just think if he's not going to be like the H-back type of guy like we was talking about the other 2 guys. He's going to be right next to the tackle, helping the running backs get some holes and stuff like that. But for fantasy relevance, I don't see it as of right now at all.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, Kenny Yeboah is going to be somebody. I'm just kidding with you. He's going to be somebody that is just a random tight end in the NFL where he catches that touchdown. You're like, yes, that's my guy. And then it's not even the guy on your fantasy team most of the time. So that's the way I think it's going to be for him in his NFL career. He's going to be a guy that really disappoints you when he scores because he's probably not going to be somebody on your rosters, I think. So he's going to be out for me.
I do want to say, I just looked up Kenny Yeboah on Player Profiler, and you know how they do the player comparison?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that they do that.
Are you ready for this? Kenny Yeboah, his player comparison.
Kenny Yeboah.
James O'Shaughnessy. Sounds about right.
Legend. Both great last names. I think that's how they got that one.
Yeah.
Great last names.
I mean, I think he's going to be maybe if he could play special teams and be a reserve tight end, I think he could have one of those solid NFL careers where he sticks around long enough to get a pension from the league and lifetime health care. And like one day a real super fan of a certain NFL team they're going to be like having beers with their buddy during a game, be like, did you remember Kenny Yeboah? Be like, yeah, the dude from Temple and Ole Miss. I wonder what happened to him. I don't know, but I thought of his name. That's probably going to be Kenny Yeboah, and maybe some of the other tight ends that we talk about. Tight end landscape is a bit obscure. It's weird. It's a weird place to be. I don't want to.
You guys want to play that comparison game?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that. Let's go.
I wasn't going to do it for Kyle Pitts because Kyle Pitts is over every tight end.
Everybody.
And last year, and
Yeah.
So let's start it with Kenny. Kenny here. Would you rather have Kenny Yeboah or Albert O?
Alberto.
Albert.
I like Alberto.
Albert O. I like it too. Would you rather have Kenny Yeboah or Hunter Bryant?
Was that a shot? I'll take Hunter Bryant.
Hunter Bryant.
Oh, not at all.
Where did Hunter Bryant go again?
Detroit.
That shouldn't factor into this decision, though.
Yeah, just give me Hunter Bryant.
Yep. I'm also taking Hunter Bryant. Would you rather have Kenny Yeboah or Bryson Hopkins?
Bryson Hopkins.
He's so excited.
All right. Here's scraping the bottom of the barrel. Kenny Yeboah or Thaddeus Moss?
Oh, God. There it is.
Kenny Yeboah.
Even I'm taking
man.
Kenny one, man.
I think I might take Kenny Yeboah with that one.
Yeah,
bro.
we're gonna go Kenny all around.
Kenny Yeboah's got hands. Like Kyle, what's his name? Thaddeus Paws, but he was just slow.
Moss was cheeks.
He was.
He just had a last name. That's it.
Yep.
A couple big catches for Burrow.
Yeah. All right, is that it for Kenny Yeboah?
Yeah, that's it for
For
Kenny.
Brevin?
Yeah, would you rather have Brevin Jordan or Colby Pulled Porkinson?
Brevin's more athletic.
Brevin. If Parkinson showed anything, they wouldn't have signed Gerald Everett.
True. Yeah. Would you rather have Brevin Jordan or Cole Kmet? And this
Cole
is as
Kmet.
prospects.
Commit.
Cole Kmet.
All right, I'm
I
taking.
think he's just a better all around tight end coming out, as prospects.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, Brevin Jordan or Harrison Bryant?
Brevin Jordan.
I sound like a Brevin Jordan hater. I was going to say Harrison Bryant. I feel like I'm a Brevin Jordan hater. I'll go Harrison Bryant, though.
I'm taking. As much as I love Harrison Bryant, I'm taking Brevin Jordan. If Brevin Jordan was in last year's class, he would have been my tight end one.
Oh, wow.
Kyle Pitts, Brevin Jordan, Pat Fryermuth. I have all three of them ranked higher than Cole Kmet, and Cole Kmet was my tight end one last year.
Yeah, last year's tight end class was not like last year's tight end class had a lot of dart throws in it. I loved Bryson Hopkins. I loved Albert O. And I wish that they both would have went to places where they would have gotten a bit more of a chance, but that's what it is. So I'm assuming you said you don't want to do any Kyle Pitts either ors.
It's Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts and Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts or DeGora.
Oh,
Packers are asking you.
come on, give me Josiah. Kyle Pitts or
Sternberger.
Oh, Sternberger.
I mean, if you want to throw it back, would you rather have Pitts, Hawkinson, or Fant as prospects?
I'll take Pitts. Pitts. I think Pitts is just better all around.
I think we're all taking Pitts still. And like, if you're picking Pitts over Hawkinson and Fant, then like you don't have any other comparisons really in the past couple of years.
No, no, you're right.
Nope. Still good.
Yeah. It's gonna just about wrap it up. Chev, do you have something for us, my good friend? I say that as you're stretching. I'm sorry.
Yes, sorry. That was my fault. All right, so we're going to go actually with just the verse of the day. It kind of ties into what I was going to say anyways. It's Romans 5:8. It says, but God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. Easter's coming up. Christ died for our sins, everybody. So I hope you guys have an incredible Easter. I hope you guys have a lot of candy, a lot of Reese's Pieces, eggs that you guys have out there. But just remember what Easter also involves too. Christ died for our sins. and he rose again. So have a great Easter, guys. I don't want to put too much on it, but have a great Easter.
All right. Thank you. Have a great Easter. Have a great whatever it is that you celebrate out there in Dynasty Fantasy Football land. Chef, thank you again. And where can we find you on Twitter until next time?
You can find me at Chef Boyardee, boy with an I.
All right. And Porkman, how about yourself?
You can find me at FF Porkman.
All right. Nate, how about yourself?
You can find me at Nate NFL. I'm doing my 30 prospects in 30 days leading up to the draft, so make sure you check it out every day. I'm dropping a prospect thread. So,
and
TJ Basher.
TJ Basher, thank you for letting Nate answer that, Porkman. You got excited.
I was excited. That's my
got those hands and loose hips. I know you got all
excited. Got the OBJ catch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah. You can follow me on Twitter at Rewind CEO. Make sure you check out our YouTube channel. You could find me doing one-on-ones. I did one with Andy Holloway. Please watch it. Our next one's going to drop Friday night at 9 o'clock with Mr. Bob Lung. We have some fantastic guests lined up for the one-on-one series. Porkman might even have a little trick up his sleeve. Might be doing a special Porkman and somebody else one-on-one. I don't know, Porkman, right? Maybe.
Tony Gibson.
No, that is the cage match on the Dynasty Rewind YouTube channel. So check out our YouTube. Please subscribe to our Patreon. We are lowering the pricing of our tiers, so we want to get everybody involved. We want to hear from you, what you want to hear on the Patreon. The only place you could find our written content, you can find our IDP podcast, bonus podcast, where we talk about Tutu Atwell. That episode is called The Dawning of the Age of Chitarius. If you want to know how I came up with that name, become a rewinder, and you could DM me personally, and I will tell you, and it is dumber than you think. So until next time, everybody, be kind, please rewind. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for listening to the Dynasty Rewind. Please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, be kind, please rewind.